Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Kadash. Jeremiah 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So the prophets always prophesied against kingdoms. And America is in the prophecy of the prophets. It's a great kingdom. It's a country. And it has prophecies all through the Bible. Now, I'm going to go with the Spirit and go with chapter 47 of Isaiah. Chapter 47 of Isaiah, to give a quick understanding of this Babylon. Now I say Isaiah 47, the first verse. Come down and sit in the dust, O daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. So, Yahweh Shah, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ, and Yahweh, who they ignorantly call God, they are letting this nation know that they're not going to be met as a man, and it's not the ancient Babylon, it is the daughter of Babylon, and she's a virgin. She have not been touched. She has not been uncovered. She has not been put to shame. Verse 5 say, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Verse 7 say that this place, say that they should be a lady forever. You see? Verse 8 say, thou that dwelleth, thou that art given to pleasures, and that dwell carelessly. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. See, this is what the daughter of Babylon is saying. And so when you go to Revelation, you get an understanding of this daughter of Babylon. Because Revelation has a Babylon the Great, a great city. And look at the descriptions of this great city in Revelation that they call Babylon the Great. Look at this description. Go to Revelations 11 verse 8, and it reads, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So it spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Now, when you go to the book of Isaiah, it talks about this Egypt and Babylon and Sodom all in the same situation. But in this verse, and when you go to Isaiah 13, starting at starting at 13:19, it says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Egypt. So, right there, letting you know that this Babylon will be burned with fire. It will be overthrown as it's being burnt with fire. You see, not like the Babylon, the ancient Babylon. They wasn't burnt with fire. They wasn't burnt with fire to the point like Sodom and Gomorrah. They snuck in and took the kingdom. The Persians snuck in and took the kingdom from Nebuchadnezzar's son. But they didn't burn the place down. They just went in there and took the kingdom and took control of it. Now, when you go to, let's jump to Isaiah 47. Isaiah 47, it lets you know more about this Babylon. No, we started at Isaiah 47, Salakia. And we went to Isaiah 13. Now we're going to jump to 14. 14 lets you know some intricate details. Now 14, it calls America Lucifer. And when you read 14:12, it say, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?" And this how you know it's America right here in 13. It say, "For thou hast said unto thy heart, I will ascend unto heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, and I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the side of the north." See, the congregation is the stars of God, and they are the Israelites. That's why in Revelation chapter 12, verse 1, it said that the 12 stars that was on the woman's head, see, on the woman's crown, on her crown she had 12 stars. So the stars represents the Israelites and the tribes. And so we know that America weakened the nations, and they sitting on the Israelites. The Israelites built America, and they're feeding off of the Israelites to keep America running. Now, when you go to another place in the Bible, you go to Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50, and you read verse 25. It say, "Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, says the Lord, which destroyed all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee, and I will roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain." You see, he's letting these Babylonian Americans know that I am gonna burn you to the ground. You see, verse 29, he gives some more details. This is in Isaiah 51, Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51. In verse 29, he said, "And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolate without any inhabitant." You see, ain't gonna be no inhabitant of America when it's destroyed. But the ancient Babylon, you got people close to it in Iraq, but it still is a desert. And to go to Isaiah 14, this Jeremiah 50:33, it says, "Thus says the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast, and they refused to let them go." So they refused to let the Israelites go. That's why it said that the king of Babylon will sit on the congregation in the land of the north. He's sitting on the congregation of God. That's the elect Israelites. Now, when it talks about these this Babylon, this new Babylon, you go back to Isaiah, because Isaiah gave a description of the second coming and how the second coming would take place. It says in Isaiah 19, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt. See, that's where we get this Egypt. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt at his presence. So, the second coming would be in America, because this Egypt is not the old. This Egypt is like Babylon. It's not the old Egypt. It's the new Egypt. It's a spiritually called Egypt. Just like he said in Revelation 11:11 or 11:8. This is the new Egypt. And when you go to Isaiah 30, it lets you know. Starting at verse 2, it says, they walk down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. You see, that's why in Revelation it say this great city Babylon was known as a spiritual Egypt. Babylon was known as a spiritual Egypt, and this not the Babylon of old. It's the great Babylon the Great, the virgin daughter of Babylon. You see, that's how you get America in the Bible. They're described as these great nations or cities, and it's described as a great city. But spiritually, it's more like Sodom and Egypt. But this great city was also called Babylon the Great. So it was called Babylon, it was called Sodom, and it was called Egypt. But we focusing on Egypt and Babylon. So you got the virgin daughter of Babylon, and you got the shadow of Egypt. That's who America is. So in Isaiah 30, when it said the shadow of Egypt, verse 30, verse 3 said, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. You see, these Israelites that's in America, they trust in this America. It's trust in the strength of America. You see, and this place is going to be destroyed by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And that's why he said, I will not meet thee as a man. And he said the Lord is coming with a swift, he's coming with on a swift cloud. That's why he said he's coming on the clouds in Matthew 24:31. He said the Lord is going to come on the clouds with his angels. Now Isaiah gave another vision of the second coming in chapter 66. He lets you know how he coming to Babylon the Great, America, spiritually Egypt, and spiritually Babylon. Now, in Isaiah 66, it say, for behold, this is verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. 16. For by fire and by his sword will he plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. So, Babylon the Great, America, daughter of Egypt, daughter of Babylon, a virgin daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great, the shadow of Egypt. You see, not the old Egypt, but it's the shadow of Egypt, the shadow of the valley of death. See, that's what America is. Lucifer, the king of Babylon. You see, the rulers of America are Lucifer. They the king of Babylon, the controller of Babylon. And so, America judgment is going to come, and Revelations spells it out in a plain situation. Now, there's two things that's going to happen to Babylon. Just like in Isaiah and Jeremiah, he said he's not going to meet them as a man. And so when Yahweh shall come, here in 19:19 of Revelation, he said, and I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies. See? He going to see American army. America, when you look at the armies of the world, America is at number 1. So he gonna meet America's army. They are number 1 ranked. Now the verse goes on to say, gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse. So these American armies is gonna make war with Yahweh Shah, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ, who's gonna be on a major chariot and against his army, and he's gonna have other chariots with him and angels with him in their chariots. See, we going chariot for chariot, plane for chariot, weapon for weapon. Now, that's gonna be this war in Revelation 12 and 7. Where it said a war broke out in heaven. That's what the war is all about. The war is not about no angels fighting each other, good angels and bad angels. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. This book has nothing about good angels and bad angels. This book is about the nation of Israel and the nation of Edom. Point blank, period. Jacob and Esau. And Esau is ruling the world, and Jacob is holding his heel because he's ruling. He's going to pull him down with his hand, with power. He's going to take him off the throne, grab his foot and take him off the throne. And that's what's happening with it. What's going to happen with America. After this place is burnt, the rest of the Edomites is going to be taken off the throne and thrown into captivity. That's why in Revelation 13:10 it tell you who he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Because he gonna put Jacob's children gonna put the Edomites into captivity. Because they led Jacob's children into captivity. So America is where the captivity of the Israelites is being seen, and the grand finale is going to be when these Yahweh shall come with the UFOs and his angels. Revelations 11:12 spells the whole thing out in one verse. It says, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. He's telling the Israelites to come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. So they went up to heaven in that cloud that he was flying on. And it says, and their enemies beheld them. So the enemies going to see that these Israelites just went up into some UFOs. They just ascended into the UFOs after we heard a major cry. So they gonna know it's wartime. You see, it's time to go to war. They gonna be flying all over the place. trying to probably find these Israelites and war against them. So America is going to have a major judgment soon. It's coming. And they see the UFOs flying all over the place. So they already know. That's why they're starting the Space Force. But America is all through the Bible. They don't know the description of that it gave of America. They described it as a spiritual Egypt, as a spiritual Sodom, a great city, a daughter of Babylon. You see, that's how you know how the judgment is going to play out. And he gave those places judgments in the Bible. After he described them, he gave them a judgment. And only America fit the bill. So I'm going to leave it there. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Death to America, death to these red dragons. Shalom.